Predator Concrete Jungle is a game where you're going to like it or you're going to hate it, and there were times where I was swearing at the game by how clunky the controls were, and there were times where I had fun with the game where it made me feel like I am the Predator and enjoying the hunting grounds of the futuristic city that I was set in. Predator Concrete Jungle is a third-person game where you play as a predator called Scarface, what was released way back in 2005 for the PS2 and the original Xbox. From the start, there's someone telling you the story of your predator, where it starts in 1930 and going to the future of 2030. You're a predator that gets dishonoured because you let people know your existence, and now that you've failed to die when you set off your self-destruct mechanism to wipe out the evidence of the predator's race, instead your predator kills off a whole city full of innocent civilians, which is a no-no in the predator's honour code.
And so it began. This tragedy of two worlds. This epic fall and rise of men and monsters. This story of power, revenge, and unnatural love. The devil had broken the laws of its own kind. It had made its presence known to its prey in a devastating and humiliating way. And worse, it had survived the exposure. We now know that these creatures are nomadic, bound by strict clan loyalties, unbreakable taboos. Disgrace and exile were all this one could expect.
So you get exiled to a harsh planet for 100 years, and in that time frame, the human race have used and mass-produced the Predator's technology, what was left behind accidental by Scarface. And in that 100 years, humans have become a bigger threat, killing unblood predators. So it's up to you to prove yourself all over again as an unblood predator and work your way up the food chain again. But not all as it seems in this campaign, where it really starts to go beyond that, and I can't really say what because it'd be spoiling it too much. All the controls, they feel a bit loose and clunky on the movement, and I didn't get used to them until I was about the 5th level in, after when I changed the controls around. Because the normal standard controls were awful, where left was right, right was left, and it was in like plain control mode, and when I changed the controls to more my liking, it was a lot more better. Even though when I changed the controls around, yet the movement was still a bit clunky. On the other hand, when I got over the bad controls, the game started to become a blast. Although this can be frustrating at times by some of the platforming that it got me to do, where the camera seems to fight me sometimes, and a couple of times this did get me killed, where it like went weird on me. Mainly on the escape mission, where it had me jump straight up in a spiral onto this other platform, then onto another one, and there's also a jump charge if you want to jump higher, and sometimes I had to do that, and then I completely missed it, like on this platform bit, and it jumped over it, and it's like, ah, no! And then the predator dies, and then I've got to do the whole level again. I don't understand why the camera just gone like that. However, this game does not really work as a platformer by how bad the movement jumping controls are. I found that it was easy to underjump or overjump at times, or get stuck underneath a thing and you go and you just can't move. And so you have to come out of it and then jump up again, and it just doesn't really work. For the tutorial, it's quite long if you want to do all 3 tutorials. However, these are optional in the menu, and there is a sort of tutorial if you just want to play the game in the first level. And the tutorial don't tell you everything. Some things I had to find out for myself, like the mech robots in the first real level of the game. These things are tough as nails, and there are a lot of them, and they kept on killing me, and it's like, there's got to be an easier way than attacking it head on and stepping back and timing your skills just right just to attack these enemies. and taking them all out just seemed insane by how difficult it was. And then I found out that I could instant kill these by jumping on its back when it's got this icon on it of a triangle slash rectangle thing. And it does this instant kill move. What I thought was really cool way the Predator just jumps on there and it goes, oh, yeah, roars and all that. It's like, wow, I hope there's more of this. But how was I supposed to know that I could do that? I only found that out by accident when I was dodging and jumping over it, and then that icon appeared and I'm like, what's that? And then my Predator just like launched on it like a magnet. And well, you can perform executions by sneaking up on a target and perform instant kills with this skull what appears above their head. And some of them are satisfying, especially when I saw Scarface use his wrist blade and rip out a person's spine with their skull attached. It's like, and it does make you feel like a predator, especially when Scarface defeats a boss and you go over to claim your trophy and you use the wrist blade and you're like, and then the predator makes a roar. It's like, oh, they really know the Predator lore on this a bit. I like that I could change the visions to infrared like out of the movie, and there are some additional ones as well. I don't really know their names, so I made a couple of them up of what they're actually called. Tech Vision, Job Vision, and Analyze Vision? Well, that's what I call them. And if you go into first person, it reveals some data on them if you lock onto the target. And it got my favourite one in them, is the mimicking of the voices to distract my enemy. I had a lot of fun with the mimicking mechanic. The inventory system is simple yet dated. It just takes time to select the weapon that I wanted. It would have been easier if it just sprung up a square and I just go, right, I want that one. But instead I've got to like swipe through it to get the one what I want. You get to use the iconic weapons from the spear to the gun on the shoulder, yet certain weapons will drain your power source. And how you replenish your power system is by destroying these power points that are in the level. And yes, the famous Predator cloaking is tied to this mechanic, and the plasma gun as well, to limit the player of the use of them. And you can also upgrade your health and power meter by completing bonus missions in the stages. And this is how you unlock the outfits as well, except the weapon upgrades are hidden in the levels for you to find. And I've got to admit, I like all the different outfits that I could unlock, and yeah, they're only cosmetic and don't really do anything, although my favourite's got to be the original 1987 film. I was using that outfit the most. The majority of the game takes place in a futuristic city of the year 2030. Yeah, where they got flying cars and normal drive cars as well. The game is set in chapters and you can replay these missions at any time if you missed that upgrade that you wanted, so I thought that was a good idea, as it brings up the stats of that level, so I knew if I missed something out or not. The main missions of the game is alright, but it's a bit of a mixed bag. They vary from being plain bad to good, then boring, then okay, it's really like that. And the best mission what I can think of was the escape, where your predator escapes and frees the other predators and you're going around and collecting your stuff. I really did like that mission because it actually challenged me a bit. Like, I couldn't take that anymore. This is the part where Blue keeps going on and on and on about the main missions. In short, there can be multiple objectives to do in one mission and it unlocks one after the other. So it's like hit the beacons, find them, activate them, then go and find the people with the boxes, kill them, move on, find the base, use the voice mimicking thing, unlock the door. Hey, I'm facing the boss. The checkpoint system sucks. It doesn't seem to exist here to my knowledge. There's times where I almost got to the end of the stage and died, and it sent me all the way back to the beginning again of the stage. This did annoy me more than once, especially on the later stages. There was one stage that had me laughing at times, was the stage where your target goes and hides for safety at the docks, where you get to meet strippers and ex-porn stars. And the bad dialogue just kept on making me burst out laughing.
See, anyway, what it is, Lucrecia said to me. She said you got guards all over this place for her special shipment. I'd be safe here. You gotta help me, eh? Hey, Diablo himself is something. What he did to my man, you wouldn't believe.
What I've done to men, you wouldn't believe. Don't worry, Lucretia sent you to the right place. Just relax and enjoy.
Fucking A.
And they also got armour cloaking, so their outfits were illusion the whole time while they're on patrol at the shipping docks. And they was really wearing body armour the whole time, and it's like, I'm not making this up, this is actually in the game. It's like, it doesn't make sense, it's just so mad. And if it didn't make me laugh even more harder, and then later on, when you listen to a password that opens up the door so I could open up the door and had Scarface mimicking that phrase, that was it. I was practically falling off my seats in hysteric at that point. It's like the whole mission was one big comedy mission.
Open wide and say, ah. Open wide and say, ah.
And then your target starts running outside in his underwear, ready for you to rip his head off his shoulders. It's just like, what? This part of the game is so far out there that I don't know if this was intentional or not to be a serious mission. I felt like this was the writers of American Pie or Porky's what writ this mission, ex-porn-style strippers, hookers with military outfits, with futuristic weapons and armour cloaking technology. And for some reason I would not change a thing because it was a good laugh, so therefore it's got to be one of my favourite levels in this whole game because it was just so far out there. But the worst mission in my opinion was the one where it got me to follow this guy with all the security cameras active, and if one camera sees you, it's mission failed. And you think, yeah, I activate the Predator's cloaking technology. Yeah, it just doesn't work. If the camera sees you, it's still mission failed, even with the cloaking on. And there is a time limit between each checkpoint, and the bad controls are just not good for this platforming section where it has you jumping from one bit and then you got to find this direct path what it wants you to take. It's like, this is just not a good mission at all. Although I like when I was near the end of the level and it sprung Xenomorphs into it, the grin on my face just got so much more bigger at that point. They brought the aliens in it. It's like,
Hello, Scarface. Long time no see. I suppose you think you've got me just where you want me now, but say hello to my little friends. Have fun together.
the AI's okay, but it's not the best. I found it easy to take advantage of it once when I found out how simple they were programmed. Yet the boss fights range from alright to plain bad. The first boss fight moves very, very slowly, and I just end up throwing the fire bombs at him and use my plasma gun. And the last boss fight I found too easy once when I got outside on the rooftop. But there are some good ones, like the 4 elite soldiers with different kind of weapons. While one snipes you, the other will fire a laser, and the other will fire rockets at you. I like the challenge that this one brought to me, where they seem to work together at times. And it made me think which one is the more deadliest one, so I could take that one out first. And the other boss fight that I enjoyed was facing the repurposed experimental predators. They were just interesting. For the cutscenes, I like the CG cutscenes near enough at the start of the game. It's amazing and looks brilliant. However, for the rest of the game, in-game cutscenes, they're average for the time. For the graphics, I would say they're good, but they're not mind-blowing. But I like how the Predator looks most of all. That's where most of the graphics seems to go. For the soundtrack, it's completely forgettable. I can't remember one bit of it, unfortunately. It's just gone right out of my head, just trying to think about it. It's like, what's the best soundtrack? Well, I can think. Yeah, there's nothing there. As for characters, there's Lucretia, who's like the top criminal gang boss. And then there's her father, who I think owns a huge corporation, and also a crime boss as well. For me, most of these characters are completely forgettable. I had a hard time remembering these, and her father is the main villain of the game. For the voice acting, I thought it was alright, although there's nothing special about it. Some of it can be considered below average for the time, but it doesn't take anything away from the game, either, so there is some cringy dialogue. For how long the game is, I've clocked on the 7-hour mark, and that's unlocking near enough everything that I can for the Predator. All the weapons and the outfits, so it's not really that long at all. So in the end, I like playing Predator Concrete Jungle. There is a nice game here, and it does get that feel across that you are playing as a Predator. And once when I got used to the clunky controls, I found it a good game, but a flawed game at the same time. And I do hope that we get a Predator game campaign where we play as a hunter in a city or jungle, especially with today's technology in an open world. I think that would make a good Predator game, as we hunt down our prey and climb to the top of the food chain. Except that's just me. So have you played it? What do you think of Predator Concrete Jungle? Leave it in the comments below. Until next game, I'm off.